Hi, I'm Clive Mendes. I'm the non-executive chairman of Go Mad Thinking, a consulting firm in the UK. I also have my own consulting business, and I help customers in places like Italy and the UK with, in areas such as insurance, innovation in general, artificial intelligence. I had previous to this, a long career in around the world. I've worked in places like Portugal, the Middle East, Australia. I started my career in Royal Insurance, which is now Royal & Son Alliance, in the international division. I've done many jobs with them, but I think a couple of standouts was I was the founder of Royal Insurance in Italy, a direct insurance company that was highly successful. I was also for a time, the director of strategy for the group at the time when the company was going through a major change program. I have consulted for insurance companies and non-insurance companies over the years, which has been very interesting. I've also founded and set up my own businesses, typically digital businesses, and developed them and sold them on. A recent experience is I was CEO of Real Insurance in Australia, which is another direct insurance company, lovely company, which I'm very glad to have helped to prosper and continue. So that company is going on very nicely now, based in Sydney. I suppose on balance, the main themes are of management. I was a CEO since I was 23, so I really do know the ins and outs of managing companies, but also an entrepreneur. So I have had the experience and the skills to build companies up, transition them in size, and sell them on. So in those roles, I'm very proud of this. I've brought a lot of disruption, new ideas, involved new technology and so forth. And I think that's made it particularly interesting for me. And I think if you ask the people who worked with me, I think they would say it's been an interesting time, a satisfying time for them as well. Yeah, it was quite accurate. I scored fairly evenly in all the different quadrants, which I think makes sense. I've always felt I was an all-rounder. I'm comfortable with strategy. I'm good at implementing, and I have a very, very strong drive to create things that are exceptional. I think it's, the report showed that I have two strengths and preferences in innovation. So, in other words, coming up with new ideas, and also in the playmaker segment, which is the central part of it. And I think I've always felt that's kind of where my natural abilities lie the most. It's interesting that I've always viewed myself as an orchestrator. That's the term I use, because I felt like a conductor of an orchestra that brings all of the forces together to create an amazing work of art. And I suppose to extend the simile, I could, if I wanted to, I could write the music. If I really needed to, I could even play it. I could do all of these various roles, but there are people who are better than me at doing all of those different things. So I think the real added value that I have is the ability to, first of all, to find the talent, the dream team, bring them together, and then push them so that they actually do behave as a team and that they achieve something that's beyond what they thought was possible. So if you like, it's a tense process in some ways, but if for the right people, it creates a work of art. And I look at the creation of the company as a work of art. So we make that happen. We deliver the performance, and then we all share in that applause. So I think I've been lucky to do that more than one occasion in my career. I think the results for the people I work with and work for speak for themselves. It was confirmation of something that I've always felt, but I've never articulated or even needed to articulate before. It did confirm my strength as an idea generator, someone who creates things. I always see myself as a creator. I've tended to apply or follow myself as applying a system to that creativity. Being inspired by other ideas, taking an idea from one country or from one industry, stressing it and mixing them together and coming out with something completely new. I think the index has shown that actually that skill in itself is highly prized and not available to everybody. But so that's been very, very interesting. So that ability to sort of synthesize ideas. I'm very open to ideas from any subject, any industry, and I very rapidly move into a kind of fantasy world where I start to play with these ideas in my mind, push the envelope on them, ask any number of questions about the possibilities. This, I understand, can be a little bit stressful for some people, so I do have to manage that. It's also confirmed my skill and ability in getting things done to an exceptional standard, with other people. I think that's a very fair representation, and I shall continue to do that. The report does suggest, though, that there are a couple of areas that I might want to improve. Possibly I've become a bit lax or complacent, and other places where I should probably push myself out of my comfort zone. Again, that's very fair. It's possible that, because I've already thought things through to the nth degree and understood what's possible and not possible, at least in my mind, I need to give people the time so that they can follow along, that they can join in and make it their own. So perhaps I'm a little bit too quick in expecting people always to follow at my pace. So that's definitely something I need to bear in mind going forward. No, I'm an optimistic person, so I think I'm pretty happy with the choices that I've made, the direction that my career has gone. I think there is one exception, though, that stands out, and that was the creation of Royal Insurance in Italy, because it was the first time I'd had the opportunity to create a company at all, but also I was given free rein to incorporate my own ideas in that design. And what came out of it was something that was really quite exceptional, very adapted to its environment and able to change with the times, but it pushed the envelope in many ways and was loved by customers, loved by staff, and as I say, produced an amazing result. There's too many areas of innovation to list here. I'll give you a couple. It was very oriented towards customer service. So we did things like, open 7 days a week, which may not sound impressive, but that's unheard of even today in continental Europe, certainly for an insurance company. Staff would also wear uniforms, so it gave a really uniform level. The idea was to deliver uniform customer service all the time, and customer service, customer satisfaction, more precisely, was exactly what the business was about. Everything was designed to make customers very happy, because that was the area that I felt that the traditional insurance companies in Italy had no way of competing on. They could eventually match us in terms of our data, which is one of the areas we really innovated in. It was really our first artificial intelligence type setup that we worked out with big data. I felt they would get there eventually, and they have, but customer service was our territory. Nobody could get near it. Customers loved it. It resonated with them. And as we grew and started to really accelerate, I introduced a customer charter that was really, really precise. If we messed up, if we didn't meet the standards that we'd set, then we paid customers a penalty for that. They didn't have to ask for it, they got it. We didn't pay many, thankfully, but it was very useful, because as soon as we started to see some penalties go out, we knew that's an area we need to fix, and we did that. And as I say, customers loved it. They actually said the standards were too good, but we didn't let up with that at all. Finally, I'll just mention technical innovation. We were the first company that I know of in the world to sell insurance from start to finish by internet, and it gave us a tremendous commercial advantage. It cost far less to administer. People liked it. It opened up doors so that we could distribute it to banks or non-traditional suppliers like supermarkets, car dealers. Everybody wanted to be involved with Royal in some way because we were that good. It just opened up tremendous opportunities. So there's an awful lot to be said, but there isn't time here. But if anyone is interested, I'd recommend the book Market Busters, published by Harvard University Press, written by two professors, one from Wharton, one from Columbia. They feature a full case study of Royal Insurance and the story. And I must say, as the founder and manager of it, the CEO of Royal, it's very, very interesting to see how top academic minds dissect and analyze the work that you've done. So I'm very proud of that achievement. I like to have specialists around me. I like intelligent people who, also are self-starters, but who can get the idea and get on board with it and push forward and by themselves. Not that they're abandoned, of course. I don't mind what personalities people have. I'm broad-minded in that respect. They can be extrovert, introvert, big picture, focused on minutiae. It doesn't matter. But the point is, I think they have to be open-minded, open to new ideas and willing to develop those ideas. They don't have to be optimists. Pessimists are quite important in that team. You do need a balance of people. But the open-mindedness is really quite important. I don't get on particularly well with pomposity and extreme formality. I don't find it helpful. I think it's a bit of a sign of insecurity, and that's not very helpful. But at the same time, I don't want craziness. Bit of fun, but serious and professional when it comes to getting the job done, I think is the best way. Something extremely important is the ability to tell and hear the truth. If people are not willing to do either of those things, we, as a team, will run the risk of getting into difficulties and not being able to deal with it. So we need to know what's going on and be able to deal with it rationally, professionally, and in a solution-focused way. So not dwelling on the past or errors, understanding them, of course, but moving forward, and that becomes a very positive way of dealing with setbacks. So essentially, I'm looking for, I enjoy high IQ people, high EQ people in my management team, and I set the team up so that we in our rules, we tend to work by consensus. So we set the goals, each person agrees those goals with their teammates, with the management team, and we hold each other accountable. And in a very non-silo-like thing, it's everybody's business is everybody's business because we're all in it together. So a very positive way of working. Most people that will be comfortable with that. If people do have difficulties, they're not abandoned. I'm more than happy to help them in many ways, either personally or make sure they get the right help. I'm also, and I've enjoyed doing this, is identified, say junior people or people coming up in their career, given them an opportunity, coach them into success. And a lot of these, shall we say, graduates are now all around in different companies around the world making an impact. That makes me very, very proud. The team is central to the success, bringing the right mixture of people, making sure that the positive attitude is there, encouraging each other, incentivizing each other to do better than any of us expected. That's where the outstanding results come from, and that's the kind of unit I like to create and work with. Well, the report has definitely made me more aware of my strengths, and I'll definitely be managing and leading more consciously based on this profile. I'll also make sure that the people that I work with are also introduced to this profile. I think it'd be helpful for them and helpful for the teams as a whole, so that we can find the most effective way of working together. I have mentioned before there's some personal attributes that I will be working on, and the report's very handy in that respect. Gives me a lot of areas that I can study and start to think of how I can do better. I think one of the most impactful things is using the terms. So I use them now. I label myself in this way when I meet new people. I introduce myself as a game changer. You'll find it on my website. You'll find it on my LinkedIn profile, and also orchestrator. People get it. They understand what it means. They find it curious and amusing, and it's led to some very interesting conversations.